day 10 of my Compose 31 Pieces of Music in 31 Days challenge. Yesterday was a long one. I didn't finish editing and uploading until like 11:30, and I need today to be a quicker day because I'm going to a concert tonight and I need to be leaving my house by 6 o'clock. So I need to come up with a piece that's pretty straightforward to create today, and the editing needs to be very straightforward. So my day started with a little bit of business, some emails that I needed to respond to that I got yesterday, and I also had to send out a piece of music today to somebody who bought one of my percussion ensembles. Thank you, Andrew. And I even spent some time improvising on the setup I created yesterday. I feel pretty good about that. So yeah, stay tuned. I might try to give you a follow-up piece to what I gave you yesterday. That's a little bit more refined in the coming days. I think I have two things that I'd like to maybe try to do. Either another simple electronic thing on Logic, or maybe spend some time on the marimba. I haven't written a marimba solo in a while, so I might start with that and just see if the ideas are firing today. And if not, I'm going to go to Logic. So many comic books I need to read. I can get around okay on the marimba, but it'll slow me down a whole lot if today I try to learn everything before moving on. So I'm going to come up with ideas on the keyboard and then bring it to the computer and put it into Sibelius. Probably 4 or 5 years ago, I wrote a piece for Colby Palmore, and it started out as a solo. It eventually became a duet, but I originally wrote a piece that became a short film, and this is kind of the same vibe as that, but my goal is to make this one a little bit simpler, maybe, because there are a lot of complex time signatures in there, and my goal for this piece is a short, simple-ish 4 Mallet Marimba Solo. You know, it's interesting. Sometimes I find it more beneficial to work on the instrument, and sometimes I find it more beneficial to work on the computer. Because if I'm playing it on an instrument, I'm constrained by my ability level. But sometimes if I'm working on the computer, I get hung up on notation. But today, I started on the marimba, and I came up with some good ideas, and I got to the point where, the piece was kind of happening in my brain, and I brought it to the computer working in Sibelius, and I've handed it off. Where now my mind is kind of programmed with the content and the scope of the piece, but I'm hearing it in my head and able to just put it out on the computer, making things happen that I would never be able to play, at least not with one day of practice. Yeah, because I normally feel like working on the computer makes it feel less organic, but today that's not the case. Well, I think all I'm lacking right now is an introduction. What I started with ended up going like at the end because it just made more sense that way. It was more exciting and it felt like it was building to that. It's a little after 3 and I really need to be done with this like in the next 30 minutes. So I'm going to go back to the marimba and noodle around in B flat and see if I can figure out something that feels like an introduction. And then hopefully it'll basically be done. Well, it's 3:30 and I think I'm done. It's just a simple solo, and I don't know, it might be harder than I originally intended with a few moments, but I don't know, we'll see. It's a rough draft, and I have a feeling before all is said and done, it'll change a decent amount, but I'm just going to share a screen recording from Sibelius, the composition program I use. Well, anyway, so this is just a rough draft for a marimba solo. I don't have a name for it yet. If hearing it makes you think of anything, let me know. If you happen to be a percussionist and you'd like to workshop this with me, let me know, and I'll get you the PDF. But anyway, that's it, and I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.